dokie. It looks like we're alive. Good to go. Hello everyone, Neirui here, and welcome back. It's time again for this one stream series that I've been looking forward to now that I'm finally able to do it. We are going back and once again revisiting Destiny 1. Those of you who were here for the last one might have noticed something. My level has gone up quite a bit. You see, I've been doing a little bit of grinding off stream. And just to show, I have not used the level boost. I'm going to go and take a quick little trip to the Postmaster. This is all from just having a week of hopping in and grinding out some daily bounties and patrols over in the Cosmodrome. And to think, I was worried that I'd have difficulty reaching the level cap. Silly me. I should have taken more into consideration just, the capability of just getting a good old-fashioned grind session. For you. As you can see, both the level 25 boost and level 40 boost are still here, untouched.
All done.
Yeah. So I've come a fair bit of ways. I got myself some better gear, raised my light level a bit, and am making decent-ish progress through the leveling up the Sun Singer. I've almost got the fusion grenade unlocked, and starting to move in on the second round of the class ability modifiers. Which means, in due time, once we get far enough, we'll be able to do the quest to unlock the Arc subclass. Because, yeah, when Destiny 1 first launched, each of the main classes had only two subclasses. Warlock only had Solar and Void, Hunter only had Arc and Solar, and Titan only had Void and Arc. It was later on that they got their third subclass of the missing element. So, things are going pretty well, and yeah, pretty much after I hit level 25, pretty much the entire map opened up for me, but for the sake of keeping it going with what we've been doing, have limited myself to just the Cosmodrome on Earth. But now that that's done, we're ready to move forward. Let's head for the moon. Because if I'm not mistaken, that is where we need to go next. I said before, and I said again, it is really quite the treat being able to just
We gave up the moon to keep the hive away from Earth. We hoped that would be enough for them. I used to look up here at night and wonder what the hive were doing, but the only activity I could ever pick up was hazy, like it was blocked or buried.
Welcome to the moon.
A guardian came here searching for a way into the hive fortress, but he just disappeared. Let's pick up his trail. His last known coordinates are up ahead.
All right, here we go.
The Guardian's last report said he captured this old accelerator from an unknown fallen house.
Yeah, they did bring the moon back in D2, back in Shadowkeep, but it's still nice being back in the original incarnation of it.
Some of this equipment shows recent activity. Had to be the Guardian's ghost.
Okay, Ghost, do your thing.
All right. He was looking for the remains of an old colony base. Not too far. Maybe he's still there.
And that sounds an awful lot like company. I'm a lot stronger than you were probably expecting. Which means playtime. Got a ways to go before I can use that. Next.
You can grab your sparrow now. We're linked. The colony base he was looking for should be on the other side of the ridge.
And here we go.
This is where he was headed. Looks like he set up camp here. Let's see what he left behind. Hang on, we might have a problem.
I'll scan this and then get in on that.
His notes. They're all about a place called the Temple of Crota. It's not far from here. Sounds like a death trap.
Temple of Crota.
Well, if you say so. They're getting close. Well done.
And there we go. And that's one reason why I decided to go with Sun Singer for this run. To make Shax proud and throw more grenades.
The ground here is hollowed out for miles. Who knows what's happening under your feet? I think we found the temple.
Yeah, and as much as I'm enjoying getting to this trip down memory lane, I am definitely looking forward to finally eventually getting to experience Rise of Iron, and the thing that so many fans of the game seem to love and want back, but it's not currently looking like there's with the current way things are going, like we will get more of it. Siva.
Up ahead, Guardian down.
Guardian down. That's something I've heard way too many times. Cutscene.
There's nothing left.
Not even the light. Where's his ghost?
Hello there, Elsie.
We may want to move back. We've woken the hive. I'm picking up the dying light of a ghost. Inside.
Gotcha.
The ghost is dead, but I can still read some of its memories. The Hive are raising an army here, preparing to invade Earth. We need to stop them.
Alright. That went well enough. Granted, my kind of passive grinding between streams kind of made me a lot stronger than for what this was meant to be. But all the more to burn the enemies of humanity with. Okay, gotta go and speak with the speaker. Okay. Got a pulse rifle. Let me see here. I mean, most of these are going to end up being ultimately replaced, but that doesn't mean I still can't be a little choosy as to what I want to roll with. We got here. I think I'll wait until I decrypt that engram before I make that choice. Although that's a solid upgrade. Although, thinking about the whole subject of Siva, because I've been thinking that I'm still looking forward to it, so I don't know the beats of the story of Rise of Iron, but I have done a little bit of looking into Siva itself, so from what I've heard, it sounds like, well, the version of Siva I'm going to face once I get to Rise of Iron might not be lore-wise possible for that to return. I might as well just claim this one and get it out of there because it has no effect.
All done.
Oh, it's over there in the consumables.
Alright, let's get started.
I think it's not that much of a stretch of the imagination to think that once the Guardians get their hands on it, especially if it's causing trouble, we're probably going to blow it up or something like that. But it sounds like, from what I've heard, that the version of Siva we faced is the way it is because of the command that was given to it. Because for those who don't know the lore of Destiny, Siva is basically nanomachines. So for those of you who want to, cue the whole nanomachine sun meme. But basically, the whole point of Siva is that it's designed to be nanomachines that are constructed with the sole purpose of helping humanity build when colonizing new worlds. But it seems this particular strain of Siva was given an order of code from the Warmind Rasputin. Something along the lines of
Always interesting.
Of adapting, consume, and
You
replicate.
look like someone who's got
something like that.
worth cracking.
Been by Eververse yet?
So it probably would have been fine if it was contained, but some fallen managed to get into it and let it spread. So it becomes a bit of a problem that we have to deal with in Rise of Iron.
The city can't spare.
But I'll continue this line of thought. We're about to
day,
get more
Guardian.
story.
The darkness will not cease on its own. Good.
Ghost shells. I forgot I could pick this stuff up from you. Even the ghost shell here can give you stats in this game. I think I'll grab you and save you for when I hit level 34.
Yes. Just the thing for you. Wield your light well, guide.
Oh, gotta go collect my reward. Banshee! I got a thing for you. Where was I? Alright. I've actually been thinking a bit about a potential way we could get Siva back in post-final shape content, and at this point, it's more me theory crafting than anything else. Because, again, don't know how things are going to come to a conclusion in the final shape.
Try it. See how
That's
it feels.
good for the level you're supposed to get it at, but not so much the level I'm currently at. So
Careful out there.
that's just gonna be Glimmer. Glimmer in parts. Let's clear some of this out. Okay. Mission the World's Grave.
Check the suppressor. It's not working.
So, my current working theory for a theoretical story for Siva being brought back, and also, for that matter, potentially getting Siva brought in as a subclass, but basically, in theory, could be the first non-light or darkness-based subclass. So the question that I've been thinking about as to how in the world do I make that work is, well, how do we even get Siva made to be a threat? We need something, or perhaps someone who could actually produce and turn it from basically a crafting and construction tool into
There's got to
something
be a way
that
to
can be
find out
used
what the
for
Hive are
more
planning.
militaristic.
That ghost we recovered found a
capabilities.
library in their fortress called the World's Grave. It's said to hold everything they know of Earth.
One moment.
If you can get us down there, I'll steal all I can.
Letting a ghost talk, not talking over him.
The World's Grave is deep in their fortress, but according to the ghost we found, there's an ancient knight who protects it. I can lead us to him, but you'll have to face him to find the grave.
So, when thinking about how to make this whole thing work, there's only one name that comes to mind for me who I think makes perfect sense and could make a good villain for us to go up against, because he's got all the motivations needed. That egotistical bastard. That would be Ilvis Grey. There you are. Because, I mean, we think about it, Clovis is it's basically the perfect vehicle for this kind of a thing. Because Clovis, he's the kind of egomaniac who has a kind of a god complex. He wants to make himself into humanity's savior, which is more about control than anything. And well, to say he has a big head, it's both figurative and quite literal. Because if you've
all sorts of chambers and catacombs.
been to the Brave facility on Europa, he literally has a giant freaking head. He went in and basically made an AI duplicate of himself so he could live on as an AI existence,
It's a
contained
whole
within a
necropolis down
literal
here.
giant exo head that's hidden away on Europa. And as a matter of fact, we also managed to get him temporarily off of Europa during the season of the Seraph last year. In the last season before we went into the White Ball. But let's see. For starters, Clovis and Exos as a means to artificially try and achieve immortality, but that is a bitch in and of itself. Just the whole process of making the and basically having to reset them because their mind tries to reject the exo body. And then there's the subject of Corvus and the War Center. With him saying that the War Center is meant to really, it was just a big, fancy gun system that he could use to strike down the traveler if it ever decided to try and run away, because he wanted to be the world's savior. And, well, let's look at some of the stuff that's happened since we found him. We've got things like in Beyond Light when we went and found the Deep Stone Crypt raid, where the whole entire space platform, we ended up crashing that down into the side of Europa. So the Deep Stone Crypt, the birthplace of the Exos, is now crash landed and a kind of a smoldering wreck on the surface of Europa. So one of his a big front we kind of went and broke it badly. Then there's the whole Warsat network. Because of what happened in Season of the Seraph, the entire Warsat weapons platform is destroyed.
But this knight holds the key to finding the grave.
The Warmind Rasputin
We'll have to kill him.
Is gone now. So everything he had that he considered to be part of his legacy, under our watch and by our hands, has been destroyed. And if you look into some of the things that we've done since then, and Lightfall, which includes, like in Season of the Witch, having Eris performing hive rituals to turn herself into a hive god in order to try and get Zivu or Wrath off the table. Having to bargain with Riven in the and basically bring the Ahamkara back from extinction in the current season. I can easily see running with all this ego, and basically using it as a way to try and stir up possibility to say that Guardians can't be trusted, that he's the only true savior that mankind needs. Honestly, I could quite realistically see that actually causing a bit of a split of that city. Because, well, I mean, look what happened.
This is the key to the grave. I know where we're headed.
When we brought the Elixir into the city as refugees to become citizens. While they by and far have ended up becoming overall welcome, same for the Cabal with Keidel's Legion. There's likely still quite a few holdouts in the last city population that still can't and won't let go of old grudges for wounds and losses that was delivered to them by the Fallen and even by the Cabal. So bringing them in as friends and allies would to them be seen as being traitorous, to say the least. Because we're all nice and unified right now because we've got the greater threat of the Witness and the Witness's final shape, which is basically the end of everything. But once the Witness is done and dealt with, some of those old rivalries are likely going to fire up because, well, sometimes those wounds don't heal that easily, if at all. So, yeah, I could definitely see some strain coming, at least from
this should lead us right to the grave
of the
the
last
world's grave,
city, especially
not ours.
if you got someone like Clovis Bray, who might be well known as being historically one of the greatest minds of humanity, the man who created the Exos, who created the Warsat network, and especially if they buy into his lines about him being there to protect them, where the Guardians have failed. And heck, his ego and us being the ones who have managed to undo so much of what he created. I wouldn't put it past the bastard to try and spin it that with us being, because we're going to kill the witness one way or another. That's going to happen. What kind of costs that may be entailed with doing that, that still has yet to be seen. But again, with Clovis, with his bruised ego, I can very easily see him going and spinning a tale of trying to paint us as a threat. Because we were able to defeat the witness, the most powerful entity that humanity had come across to this date.
That's it. There it is.
What's to say? If we're able to defeat an opponent so powerful, what's to stop us if we were to try and turn our attentions to more less than wholesome endeavors? We'd probably try and argue that there's that against the kind of power that we've wielded to actually achieve that there's no way that against us inside the Guild Road. And again, with the whole things like using hive rituals, bargaining and making, and as he probably put, making bedfellows with the Fallen and the Cabal, who was taking so much from humanity, because he'd probably rile them up with a humanity first and foremost kind of emotional campaign. So he'd try and turn us and the Guardians into a boogeyman of sorts. But with the war stats gone,
Make sure you're ready.
we need a new source of power, something that could act as a level so we could fight against them. Us using the light and the darkness pretty well. Light and darkness both being kind of responsible for a lot of trouble. We just want to champion a power that can do what they do, but is entirely in the realm of men. And that would probably lead him towards looking into and hacking into records. Where you can find records of the events how Siva
There's
ended
so
up
much. They've broken the vacancy in the
such a big threat that we ended up having to destroy it to keep it from going out of control. And that's where it gets the idea to take Siva and further refine it to make, well, much like how the Exodus acts as a kind of pseudo form of immortality. Siva could serve as a pseudo form of the Guardian's light and darkness. Possibly mix it with some Vector because
Okay, I've got it all.
that in the past.
There's unbelievable stuff in here. The Hive have seen thousands of worlds taken by the darkness, and they've been seeding Earth for centuries, waiting for their gods to return.
Ghost talk here.
I'll warn the city. Let's get out of here.
But that's basically more or less where I'm kind of going with this little theory, this little what-if type of situation for a means of possibly bringing Siva back in as not only as a threat, but as an actual has the potential for a subclass. Basically, having Clovis be Clovis, and basically start up a war that could end up potentially splitting the last city, kind of making a sort of civil war as it was. Now that our initial issue with the darkness will have been resolved. So with that, Clovis ends up taking Siva and making his own version of his own strain that can function similar to Guardian abilities. Take humans who are fed up with Guardians, and give them effectively the power of Guardians, so that they can be empowered. So as far as he's concerned, have the Guardians rendered obsolete. Which, technically speaking, would in its own way lead us to fight against our first human enemies in the Destiny universe, because Siva enhanced humans, pseudo guardians as it would be. Any of you that end up watching this later, I'm curious what you think about that potential idea. Think that could potentially work as potential a theoretical storyline for how to after the final shape bring Siva back, not only as a threat but also to potentially unlock it as a subclass. Granted, it still will need to work out how the subclass will work, but I kind of like it, and it does feel like it has some of that potential there.
Anything for you? Bye.
Because, I mean, among other things,
Sure you know what you're aiming at.
Ooh, rank up.
Come back before I get bored.
Yay. Loot. More discipline, thank you, please. Yeah, kind of shooting for a discipline here because I want to throw more grenades. Oh, increased armor when using a solar blaze subclass. Isn't that convenient? Okay. Okay, let's clear this out a bit. Okay, I could probably get rid of this now that I've got an arc. Okay, solar void arc. Now let's see what we got here. We got a few auto rifles actually. Hand cannon. Scout rifle here, pulse rifle. Okay. Let me see here. And Suros. That one's got the higher power rating. This one. Okay, I think that looks good.
Oryx, dead, king.
Oh dear.
Let's go sling down here. Eris, what do you
I can
want?
tell. You've seen the sights then. For the lost.
Oh, the trigger for the dark below. I'll have to come back to this one later.
You can stop this.
Xenobiological materials.
Because, you know, I kind of want to hit these stories in order. So, first Vanilla, then hit the Dark Below, then the House of Wolves, then the Taken King, then finally Rise of Iron.
I don't get that, WC.
It definitely does feel good to be running around the D1
You're-
tower again.
Yes, Guardian. What do you need? Good. Do not stop
Chamber
fighting.
of But yeah, as far as my what if goes, only time will tell if we ever end up getting something like that. Here we are, Chamber of Night. But I definitely think that it could be a nice a nice spin to go with to go and. Go and bring a
Urgent transmission incoming.
I mean,
on all
among other
channels.
things, even
From
with
the speaker.
without
Nothing is
without
We
the
believe the hive are engaged in
Siva
a ritual that is
re-emergence,
draining the
without the Siva
traveler of its
subclass,
light.
it
Whatever
would
power
would
they
be
wield
kind of
must be
satisfying for it to
understood.
culminate with us getting a chance to kick Clovis's ass, smug bastard.
This ritual could be happening in any one of their thousands of chambers.
I mean,
If we
Yeah,
can find cracks
he's-
deep enough, I can map
He
the
is
entire Hive fortress.
Clovis Bray is long overdue due to get his ass kicked. Although knowing him, he'd probably find a way to have some extra securities in mind to make sure that he won't go down for good. Okay? He seems like the kind that is you know, he's one of those bad guys that just refuses to die and stay dead.
Okay, good scan, but not enough to locate the ritual yet. Let's keep looking.
So, yeah, I am really curious to hear what other people might think of that little what-if story idea of mine. Yeah, I mean, do you think that it could work? That could make for a compelling story chapter? Or am I just kind of, you know, talking out my ass and just diving into the realm of fan fiction a bit? Yes, again, part of this is just thinking that after defeating the witness in the final shave, I can see why some people might feel compelled to argue that where do we go from there? Because we've got it, because we've just faced off in against a universe-ending threat. How do you top that one? Well, as far as power scaling goes, I definitely think that making a more personal story or something that has more reaching consequences is a potential way of going that. And creating a huge schism in the last city, one that actually sticks.
Hold on. I got it.
That's something that I think that I genuinely
But
do
we
think
have to
could
go
work.
deeper into the Temple of Crota.
Now that I've gotten that little bit out of there, now what I'm kind of thinking is, how would the Siva subclass look like? What elements could it have to make it its own unique thing? What would the supers look like? What would the melees look like? What would the grenades look like? I mean, if it were to follow a similar veins to the 3.0 subclasses, it would have its collection of verbs, like how with Strand you have things like sever, unraveling, tangles, and threadlings. Or with Solar, we've got Scorch, Ignite, and Radiant, Restoration, Cure. Because, again, granted and understanding that the light and darkness subclasses are based on bits of paracausal power, like high on Siva.
Someone's trying to establish contact.
Would work with
Could be the speaker.
Clovis' thing of being trying to create something that is of approximate, or
No
as
luck.
he would probably
Too much
sell
interference.
it, surpassing
Let's get out in the
power
open.
that
I'll have a
is
better chance of
entirely
blocking
in
the
the realm
signals.
of man, and not some kind of nameless forces or from a silent god. Oh, I think we got another cutscene. Oh yeah.
You're interesting. Not entirely interesting, but you have promise.
Who is that?
I don't know. I'm losing the signal.
Guardian, I know what you're about to do. It's brave. But there are enemies out here you would not believe.
Out where?
Go down and face the hive. And if you live, come find me.
Signal dropped. I got some broken coordinates. Venus, Northern Hemisphere, Ishtar region. Great. What do we do now?
We go down.
We used to talk so much back in D1. And for some reason, when we got to D2, we turned into the silent protagonist that didn't speak at all until Forsaken came. Ogre! Nanomachines that are capable of doing just whatever you can imagine, as long as you can. There is a lot of room in there for creative interpretation. I'd imagine for Titans, some of the Titan players might want for the Titans to have their own one and done super instead of another roamer. At times like this, I kind of wish I could had some ideas off of back and forth going, because I mean, I can theory craft, but actually thinking of a possible reset. That's something. What ways could a SIVA-based subclass
Hive Seeder.
be
Just like the
done-
ones invading
done
Earth.
that could
If
offer
we don't finish this, there'll be more of
things
these
that
hitting
the
home.
light and dark subclasses can't. interesting thought, an odd process. Again, my problem is I've never experienced Siva, since, again, I've never played Rise of Iron, so I've not seen Siva in action before, so I don't exactly have a frame of reference to even theory craft what a Siva-based subclass would look like. Maybe when I eventually do get to Rise of Iron, I'll be able to have a better idea to just but I could still speculate on the whole theoretical Clovis Bray tries to make pseudo-guardian basically just creates a large-scale civil war in the city.
Here it is. The darkest of all the hive's chambers.
Showtime. I'm gonna throw all the grenades. Crystal, no thank you. There you are. Next. Is there next? Oh yeah. Sounds like someone is hungry. Up there.
What is this thing? It's a shard of the Traveler. They were using it against the Traveler, devouring its light. But we freed it. And our new friend said there are enemies on Venus worse than this. Great.
Okay, check for any loot that I missed in fight. There's one. And for rewards, helm and a pulse rifle. Finish with checking the upgrades. Scrap that. Scout rifle. Pulse rifle. Sniper, shotgun, sniper. Let's go with the more high impact sniper. Just one more level to go before we can equip that. I get a nice bonus to our light level there. All right. Back to the tower. Alright. So, after this, our next stop is Venus. Now, this is definitely a spot that is not currently in D2. Closest thing we've got to Venus and D2 right now is the entry area for the Vault of Glass, which is the first ever D1 raid, was brought back and tuned up for D2. As a matter of fact, at this point, every single raid from D1 has been revitalized and brought back into D2, except for one, which is one of the reasons why I'm going through this whole stream series, Wrath of the Machine.
Come back before I get bored.
Ooh, more discipline and a slightly higher power. Yes. Yay! Tier 3, I can throw more grenades! And getting ever closer to fusion grenades, which means I'll finally, once I get that done, be able to knock this one out, which calls for kills with attachable grenades, which is what the next grenade is. Alright. Let's go see the speaker.
Hey there, hero.
There is still so much more ground. You will only grow stronger. Yes,
Arms requisition.
very good.
Yeah, fruit of the garden is next.
May your actions keep us safe.
Okay, Banshee. You got something for me? Preferably something that's more at my current power level and not kind of like the last thing you had for me. Which, granted, would have been good if I had just done absolutely nothing and just let this sit and instead of just, you know, off-stream grinding. But if I want to be able to get to the point where I'm strong enough when I finish all this to try and get into raids, I'm gonna have to put some work in.
Hello, Guardian.
Yep, figured it.
Watch where you point that thing, Guardian.
Okay, and let's, for the time being, put the fusion grenade on. So now that we've got that, so I can work on that. Then I can bring the solar grenades back because those are fun. Just burn, 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 burn. That means I also gotta be more accurate now.
Very good. Must let Cassoid know this is adequate. But don't let it get to their head.
Alright. So, Venus then? Off we go.
Our new friend must have access to extraordinary methods to have reached out to us like that. The radio message she sent came from somewhere in the jungles of Venus.
Now to go and get ourselves tangled up with the Exo Stranger. Or, as we come to know later, Elsie Bray.
This colony was built by the Ishtar Collective. Records say they once studied ruins older than humanity itself. We thought this was all lost in the collapse.
Looks like it's time now for us to have our first ever encounter with the Vex.
I don't like us getting dragged out here and not being able to get the lay of the land. There used to be a Guardian outpost nearby. Let's see what they have on this place.
Yeah. Actually raining? Oh, I miss this place. got some unexpected company here.
We're linked. Sparrow's accessible. There's a lot here about some war machines called the Vex. Indestructible, relentless, supremely intelligent. And they can teleport. Great. Guardians used to have sensors that track them. Let's get them back online.
Ow. Oh, a big guy.
The Vex sensors should be up ahead.
Yeah, what part about solar grenades? I can afford to be less than accurate. These ones, I actually need to actually be more accurate with where I'm throwing them.
These sensors are extensive. Okay, I should be able to track these machines. Let's head to those coordinates and find out what she wants us to see. Detecting Vex. Like we're surrounded. The coordinates lead here? What is it? Let me get a closer look.
Okay, Ghost, do your thing. I'm about to have to do mine.
Fascinating. A conflux of non-baryonic streams going... where? Oh, no, no, no! It's the Vex. Better find some cover. these things. Are there any still intact that I can analyze?
I think there's just a whole lot of scrap here.
Well fought.
Just about time
You're
for the
here.
infamous beamed line.
We haven't got much time.
Who are you?
Why have you been watching us?
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
There we are.
I will. I will. I know.
Will what?
I wasn't talking to you, little light.
I'm a ghost, actually.
Many guardians fell. Strong ones. But you made it here. Yes, I'm listening. They are here. With me.
Who's she talking to?
Understood. You need my help, Guardian.
Is that why you brought us here?
They brought us here. The Vex. Evil so dark it despises other evil.
You're not a guardian.
No. I was not forged in light. But I believe where our paths cross, ground could break. Have you heard of the Black Garden?
We've heard the legends.
The greatest threat to us all lies there. Where these machines are born. Find the Black Garden. Rip out its heart. Only then will your traveler begin to heal.
Can you help us find it?
My path's my own. I can't.
If we're going to find the Black Garden, we need to see the Awoken.
Ah, yes. The Awoken. Out there wavering between the light and the dark. A side should always be taken, little light. Even if it's the wrong side. Too late returning. How many? Hold position, kill the engines, and don't let them find you.
So much data
how do we
information
find the
given, and
Awoken?
yet so little.
They live all the way out at the edge of the darkness. Last place the light touches. Can't we just stay here with the murderous robots?
No. Little light.
Don't do that.
And for loot, we have... Oh. An actual ghost shell with some good stats to it. At least good for what compared to what I've currently got. And a scout rifle. Yeah, just need 3 more kills with attachable grenades, and 1 more taken major or ultra, so that should happen in due time. Ah, the Prison of Elders. But first, let's take care of this bit of business. Ooh, the Prison of Elders, that might be fun to hop into again if I can actually get a team. Because, yeah, I kind of doubt my ability to handle any of that solo.
Where did all this come from?
Every ship that could escape fled Earth during the collapse. They made it this far. I guess they died out here.
It's a graveyard. How did the Awoken survive?
No one knows.
Intruder bearing 127, you have crossed into the realm of the Awoken. State your business or be fired on by order of the Queen.
Don't look at me. Better say something.
We are from Earth. We're here to seek the Council of the Awoken.
Conform to my trajectory. Any deviation will be taken as an act of aggression.
Looks like we're in the right place.
Why is the right place always so terrifying?
Well, because the right place requires us to do terrifying things.
So, these are the trespassers demanding an audience.
We didn't mean to trespass.
The Queen herself judges who may or may not enter the realm. Me? I see no reason she should be available for whatever washes up at the reef. But here we are.
We've come
Back
to
when
ask
he
for
was
help.
still a dick.
It is afraid of the fallen.
Mara.
It does not understand these ones are mine.
Apologies, Your Grace.
I am a guardian from Earth. We're searching for the Black Garden.
Why?
We seek to destroy the darkness at its heart.
You want to turn it into a battleground? How unimaginative.
Do you know where it is?
Everyone knows where it is. The hard part is getting in.
Can you help us?
And why would we do that?
The Queen requests counsel with her brother.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Why not? We'll make you a key. How's that? All we need is the head of a Vex Gate Lord.
A Gate Lord? We...
Why do you want a Vex head?
Oh, we don't. And I doubt we'll get one either. But it's your only hope of getting into the Black Garden.
We will return.
Or die on Venus. Either way.
One of the bits of dialogue in the Season of the Wish thing was Crow trying to mention how we need to get into the Black Garden and saying we need a head of a Vex Gate Lord. He was being a little shit and referring to this scene right here. It's just, man, it's just so stark looking, going back and seeing when we first met Aldrin, just how much of a dick he was compared to where Crow is at now. It's just, whew. Again, Crow, you cheeky little bastard, joking about needing the head of a Vex Gate Lord. You little punk. I'm pretty sure that's where we need to go. Yep, that's where we need to go.
I wish you'd check with me before making insane promises. If we want to take down a Gate Lord, we've got to find out how these machines operate. Let's find the biggest one we can, pull out its brain, and see what we can learn about them.
Yeah, back before our Guardian, as we know it, had a reputation for doing the impossible.
Okay, there's a big Vex signature just up the coast. Let's kill it, whatever it is, and bring its mind core to one of the old Academy research labs.
One Vex head coming up. Beep beep. Coming through. Again, it just feels really good to be back in some of these old stomping grounds.
Up ahead, a ridiculously large Vex emission. Sounds like what we're looking for.
Oh dear. Must have been Cyclops.
Fascinating. Let's head for that research station.
Alright, just point it out on the map. And away we go. Do you mind my driving? I am apparently quite bad.
Mind cores are actually biological, not relative to any known life forms recorded. Maybe the Collective's research can tell us more.
The mystery of Vex Radiolaria.
These ruins predate humanity by a few billion years. Vex are coursing through them.
And I have to make a little slight scenic detour here. Alright, so once again, mantling was something that was introduced in D2. detrimental with jumping in D1. Here is a site. The door to the vault of glass. Okay, detour over. Let's get back on the road. I am kind of definitely legit considering the possibility of revisiting all of the D1 raids in their D1 configurations. Of course, that is something. I didn't get on a Sparrow after all. That is something I'm going to need assistance with doing. So, yeah, I think we can cross that bridge when we come to it, because as it stands, I'm still a little bit of a ways off of being able to enter the raids, especially since once we got to Age of Triumphs, all the old raids were brought up to current
research
power
station.
level. More falling.
Nice work. There's got to be a central terminal around here.
Found it.
one. Let's see if I can get it to work. It's revivable. I'll see what they discovered here.
Alright, you do that.
Vex, they're coming.
And of course. That was it. So, a quick switch back to the grenade that I don't need to worry as much about being accurate.
The Vex share one mind across 1,000,000 units. That's why they react so fast. Amazing. They can warp across star systems in an instant.
Yeah, you just keep on looking into them more while I just keep on killing all of them. Just take your time, just keep on the murderous death robots.
I'm almost done.
Sure you are. Loot.
I know how to find a Gate Lord. Each Vex is part of a giant network that spreads through the mantle of the entire planet. If I can just get into their system, we can draw a Gate Lord out.
Pulse rifle. Yeah, level 34 now. Alright, back to the tower. Oh, we're definitely pushing through this at a decent clip. Yep, check for any lost loot.
Hi.
Nope.
Goodbye.
Yeah, the way we're going, by the
Happy
time
to
we get to the next one of these streams, I might just hit 40 the old-fashioned way.
Well, well, well. Fare it well. Always a pleasure.
And there goes. Oh well. Less discipline, but more stats. over here we have... Alright. Alright. Grab this while we're here. We got so many nodes unlocked here already, and yet we're not really barely a quarter of the way, which just goes to show how much experience you need to get these last ones here. So it is going to take us a bit of a while to get to the point where we can use Radiance to self-res. Okay.
The following is a special message from future war gods. Old wars end, so that new wars can be born of their fire. End message.
Alright. So, who's ready to go and hunt down a Vex Gate Lord?
The more we learn about the Vex, the more I understand why our exo-friend is so worried about them. During the collapse, they transformed the planet Mercury into a machine in days. They would have spread to every planet if the Traveler hadn't stopped them. We need to get into the Black Garden. We need a Gate Lord's head.
That is something we're probably going to see a bit more of once we get past the final shape. Is more of the Vex, because as a major force, they've kind of been sitting in the back waiting for us and Witness to just basically kill each other. So, I have no idea how they're going to...
Here's what we have on Gate Lords. 3 stories tall, protect the realms the Vex keep locked out of time. Time? That can't be right.
Well, more of a actual more involved threat. Find out once we get past the final shape and start getting into the first of the new episodes.
I'm picking up a heavy conflux nearby. I can use it to get into their network.
Let's shift things up a bit. Well, that was a jump that could have gone better. All right, let's try this again. Oh, I think I made a wrong turn. Alright, Ghost. Do your thing.
And I thought you had the hard job. Okay, we've got to head for a place called the Endless Steps. That's where we'll find the Gate Lord.
It's nice just going on a nice casual drive through the fields of Venus.
To find the Gate Lord, I sort of had to mess with all their transfer gates here. You're probably going to have your hands full.
Trust me, Ghost. In the years above, we're gonna get quite used to that.
The gates are waking. They'll keep coming unless you can shut them down. You've got to destroy the gates. That worked. Keep it up.
Working on it. Next. In hindsight, I probably should have been using the sniper rifle for the spar-off ones. Oh well. Yeah, hindsight. I actually ran out of primary ammo. Hydra. Come on. Present your little crit spot. I was getting a little reckless there. Alright. One more portal shut.
And that is where we'll find the Gate Lord. Let's go. I guess you're going to have to step inside the ring.
I will. as I clear out all the company. Alright, time to summon one Vex Gate Lord. And then kill it.
Here we go.
Throwing all the grenades!
Nice work. This better get us into the Black Garden. Let's go get our key from the Queen.
All the grenades.
It is alive. And still has its ball.
There is no shame in running away, Guardian. Apart from the cowardice and failure of it, it's an excellent strategy.
We didn't run.
Was no Gate Lord slain, brother?
Oh, we slayed a Gate Lord.
Ghost. We need to find the Black Garden.
They don't even know where it is.
Let us tell them. Search the Gate Lord for that which gains them entrance.
Why? If you wish them certain death, just kill them here.
Often when we guess at others' motives, we reveal only our own.
My motive is simply loyalty. To a people. A queen and a sister.
Then please, take what is required.
Dead, unfortunately. A wasted journey, I'm afraid.
Perhaps. But I think these ones resourceful. We gift it, in sympathy for their traveler.
Mars. 84 North, 32 East, Meridian Bay.
I have shown you benevolence, Guardian. Should the Awoken ever need an ally, I will call on you. And expect you to answer.
She's saying you owe us, Guardian.
I understand. Your Grace.
Good luck getting through the exclusion zone.
Whatever you say, Dick. Seriously. Again, Aldrin was such a dick. And now we've got Crow. Night and day in that that one.
Signal lost.
Shall I take a message? Communication logged. Please select mission. Confirmed.
Make them pay.
Hello, Warlock. Well, why not? Looks uncomfortable. Off you go.
That voice. Is that the same VA for Devrin? It's been so long since I've actually been here, I don't recall.
Let's talk.
The original Trials of
Keep
Osiris.
your eyes open.
Outsider.
Varix.
You and I. Shh. Come here. Going home?
All right.
We're looking for a wolf kelp. Welcome to the Vestian Outpost, Guardian. You and I are gonna hunt some wolves together. Take a walk around. You'll find some interesting allies here.
And here's the start for the House of Wolves.
We all want the same thing. An end to the House of Wolves. Good luck.
And as far as the House of Wolves go, we'll deal with that later. For now, we still have more left to do for the vanilla campaign. So, time to see our first encounter with the Cabal. And head on to Mars. Yep, definitely getting through this at a pretty decent clip. Okay, let's sort out our inventory a bit. Weaker, but let's give this one a little test, because higher rate of fire. Oh wait, similar rate of fire. So we have here scout rifle and a hand cannon. Not getting a whole lot of solar. Alright. Mars.
These coordinates put the gate to the Black Garden near the lost city of Freehold. It's been buried in the sand since the collapse. Now, the Cabal occupy the area, and most of Mars. No one gets through their exclusion zone.
No one gets through the exclusion zone? Well, I guess it makes me no one then.
Great. The gate to the Black Garden is miles from here. And the Cabal got a lock on orbital communication. If you want your Sparrow, you're going to have to break into one of their bunkers and disable the system.
That's doable, Ghost.
Here's what I have on the Cabal. 800 pounds and highly militarized. They blow up planets and moons just for getting in their way. Just so you know what we're dealing with. They're inside. My advice? We avoid engagement until we understand them better.
Do you really think we have enough luck to avoid that?
Easier than I thought. Scanning for something linked to their orbital grids. That one.
Access key? I don't need an access key. DOS is more complicated. Oh?
I think I initiated a failsafe.
Like I said, Ghost, you really think our luck can keep us from having to fight?
I guess that was their failsafe. barrow is accessible. Let's head toward the gate. The Cabal appeared to be at war with the Vex here. Maybe they know something about the gate. There's a few outposts nearby. Let's check them out.
Roger that.
You want to get in the middle of this, that's your call. An outpost should be up ahead. I can dig into their systems and see what I can find about the gate. Look for something I can access.
The Cabal failed. This used to have actual steel shields instead of those energy ones I've gotten used to. Looks like it'll work.
All right, find out who's in charge and take their key.
There's another Cabal post right near the gate. Let's hope this key works.
Reload. This way. Oh, up there, up there. Pop. And I'll set to throw more grenades.
Let's see what they know about the gate.
Impressive. The Cabal managed to penetrate the Vex cognition mesh.
There's a lot here. I'm not sure they even understand what the gate is. But if we're going to wait the Gate Lord's eye and get into the Black Garden, looks like we're going to have to go through the Cabal. Alright, next up, let's go pay Ikora a little visit. Everything is starting to fall into place. Just gotta fight our way into the Black Garden, and then things continue from there.
name?
Nope.
Whenever you need me again, Guardian.
They're not ready.
All right, Ikora.
Here we
What
go.
do you got?
Perfect.
Good luck, Guardian.
Give him hell out there, Guardian.
They'll have to wait.
More Guardians fell to Protoss sword than you'll ever know.
Checking
Yes. These engrams predate the collapse. Sure, you know what you always a pleasure.
All right. One more step done. And we've got one more to go. Well, I don't really recall how many exactly we have left to go, but next up, Garden Spire.
I have a plan to charge the Gate Lord's Eye. Deep in their warbase, the Cabal are sitting on a Vex spire that connects to the Black Garden Gate. We free that spire, we can charge the Eye. We'll be hitting the Cabal where they're the strongest. So I hope you're ready for war.
At this point,
Here we go.
we more
Let's
or
fight our
less
way into their
are
warbase.
war. So, let's bring the fight to the Cabal. Public event. Detour!
I knew we'd get into this. They might pull this off. Great work.
Alrighty then. Well, that little detour aside. Let's go race some hell in the ball. Before we get sidetracked again.
I need to locate the spire. Let's keep moving. I'll scan for a good vantage point.
You do that. 5 more levels to go. And then we can begin the true grind. Getting that power level. A grind going up until like level 400. Because yeah, I'm going to need to get that power, that light level up, if I want to actually be able to actually enter into the raids when it comes time.
That observation tower overhead. There's bound to be a way to locate the spire there.
I mean, it definitely won't help if I get to the point where I'm ready to actually do the raids, but my power is too low for me to actually enter.
Let's try that terminal.
Burn.
Come on, where is it?
I got it. It's on the other side of another defense line. Well, if they didn't already know we're coming, they do now. I think they just invited us in.
Well, it'd be a shame and
feels like a trap.
Rude to turn down that wholesale nice invitation. Hey, thank you for the invitation. It's so nice of you to enter or to advise a party because showing up just kind of out of blue like this. So, you guys got party snacks? Don't forget the music and the dancing. Let's dance. Come on. Keep with the beat. And 1, 2, 3. There we go. Hup. That's it. That's it. Nice and all. But got anything that's got a bit of a faster beat to it. I get slower music.
Get ready. You know what
Does
happens when I open doors.
You need to speed. Need to speed things up a little bit. I gotta admit, not too bad. A bit of an impromptu party, but still, you guys certainly know how to entertain your guests. Such a warm welcome. Yeah, you guys really do know how to make a girl feel at home.
We're getting close. We have to cross that bridge. There's the spire, straight ahead. You handle the Cabal. I'll wait the eye.
Yeah, you do that, Ghost.
There, a conduit to the spire. Get me close.
There we go.
I have no idea what's about to happen. The eye is charged. It's time to enter the Black Garden and finish this.
Largo.
Oh, I hear an horse. Welcome.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, good. Just had me second crash with Pal's World. It happens. So how you been?
Yep, making really good progress through the vanilla D1 campaign.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, doing all that leveling off stream definitely made it a much more straightforward task.
Ah, that's fair.
You know, considering when I left the last stream off at level 8, and and by just doing daily bounties and patrols over in the Cosmodrome, I started the stream at about level 32.
Ah, there you go.
So yeah, it's definitely looking like by the time we get to the end of this stream, we'll have been able to finish the vanilla Destiny 1 campaign.
Nice.
Leaving the next stream for us to handle the Dark Below and the House of Wolves.
Okay, and then you're getting into the extended content. Got it. Okay.
Yep. Basically, going through things in order: the vanilla campaign, then going and hitting up the Dark Below, then House of Wolves, then the Taken King.
I was about to say the Taken King, wasn't that the last one?
No.
With Crota or something like that?
Yeah, Crota came between in that, with the Dark Below, if memory serves.
Okay.
Taken King featured Crota's father, Oryx, and the last
Oryx. There we go.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yep, Oryx, the Taken King, also known as the Navigator.
Oh. What does he have that title for?
That's his. That's his title as one of the Hive gods.
Oh yeah, that whole little group. Got
Yep.
it.
Just like Savathun is the Hive god of cunning and trickery, and Xivu Arath is the Hive god of war.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but the last thing in D1, which is actually what I'm working my way towards, is the one bit of things that, due to some rather unfortunate things that happened in my life at the time,
Oh yeah, you explained that. Your the bad years, eh?
Yeah, the bad years. But because that, I never got to play Rise of Iron.
Okay.
Which means Rise of Iron and the true final raid in D1, Wrath of the Machine, I never got to experience.
Huh.
So,
I never really saw that one either.
Yeah. So this is both a trip down memory lane, a nostalgia trip, just going back and looking at where we came from in the time leading up to the final shape, but also me finally getting to experience the one bit that I never got to, which many still say is their favorite in all of Destiny, the Wrath of the Machine raid. And of course, what so many people still want to see more of, Siva.
Okie dokie.
I mean, earlier in the very stream, I kind of spent a bit of time talking about a what if theory of my idea of what it could potentially look like if they were to, in the post final shape, if they wanted to try and bring Siva back as a threat, based on what little I know of Siva, because I never got to truly experience Rise of Iron and Wrath of the Machine.
No worries.
But to make a long story short, or
good luck.
The whole big theory that I came up with was Clovis Bray.
Who is that?
He's the man who basically created the Exos and has one of, if not the biggest egos in all of Destiny.
Okay.
Because you might have heard of like the like Braytech and things like that.
Faintly remember hearing that word before.
Yeah, that would be the brainchild of that eagle maniacal jerkbag.
Ah, I see.
Basically, long story short, with everything that's gone wrong leading up to the big final confrontation with the Witness, the Deep Stone Crypt.
I don't think we'll get a second chance at this.
Crypt,
We pull this off. We can save the Traveler.
Happened
if not,
with
the Vex will seize our worlds.
and the Warsat network, and some of the things we've had to do, like what happened in Season of the Witch, and what we had to do for here in Season of the Witch,
Lord's eye is still
in order
charged.
to just
Let's head for the
open that bridge to get to the Witness. I can easily see that egomaniacal who has a god/savior complex, basically trying to spin everything that we had to do out of necessity to try and defeat the Witness, to keep him from completing the final shape, which is basically the end of everything.
Okay.
And using that to ignite a schism in the last city. Basically, trigger a kind of a large-scale civil war that lasts and has consequences.
Okay.
And since things like the Warsat network is down, he needs to create a kind of power that he can build his power base on to try and help sell the whole he is the true savior that humanity needs rhetoric. And that involves using Siva and possibly combining Siva with Vex Radiolaria, because he's experimented with that a lot. To basically use Siva to approximate the effects of Guardian abilities to effectively make pseudo-Guardians that, as he would think of it, is not relying on the powers of light or dark, of silent gods, or the evils that have hunted humanity down, but a mighty power
the Vex are going to do everything they can to keep us out of the Black Guardian.
Man. So, basically, using that to turn Siva into the first non-light, non-darkness subclass.
Okay. It's fascinating here because I honestly don't really know too much about it. All we really know is from, like, the raids that Achievement Hunter did way back in the day.
Yeah, I might want to look up some of the various lore videos because
If this is the Black
there's a
Garden,
lot
it's
of
not on
lore
any
that a
map
lot
of
of people
known space and
really
time.
go and dig their way through.
I guess we just
That's good, but for the longest kind of time, though, from what I recall, there wasn't really all that much lore in the series to begin with. It's when they hired on a certain someone that they started really going into that route.
Yep. Technically, there were the Grimoire cards, and there's lots of lore tabs and lore books in D2 right now.
Yeah, like I said, it's from what I heard, it came like later on when they got more into that, rather than just the Grimoire card reliance.
Yeah, granted, in year 1 of D1, that it was pretty scarce, and you had to look at the Grimoire cards elsewhere. Taken King was one of the things where it started to really come into its own.
There we go. That's why what I was thinking about. Year 1 of it. Like I said, that one sort of stuck with me. Like I've always found that like a little bit odd that, like the scarcity of like their own setting up their universe.
Yeah, I mean,
but
early in the stream, we got to see the infamous line from year 1 where the Exo Stranger basically said, and I quote, "I don't have time to explain why I don't have time to explain."
Wow, that's a choice line.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's been memed on a fair bit.
Came across the conspiracy of Tokotokos. But yeah, I'm happy to hear that you're enjoying yourself. Destiny seems to be that type of game for you. It means a fair bit.
I mean, I've been playing it since D1 launch.
Okay.
Pretty much the only people who've been playing it longer who aren't connected to Bungie are those who got into the beta.
Ah, gotcha.
So, yeah, this has been a long time thing for me.
That's... Well, I'm happy to hear you got to that point.
There's something extremely dark down below.
It's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to when we eventually do get the final shape, the conclusion of the 10-year Light and Darkness saga. Granted, a lot of people are still concerned about it because of some of the decisions that were made with Lightfall.
Okay.
But there's a lot with the state of the gaming industry. There's a lot of people who are at the very least argue a bit disillusioned.
That is fair.
But yeah, I'm still going to hold out on hope because they did go and while the final shape has been delayed by several months, it means it's more time for them to go into and try and make it as good as possible because a lot is riding on this. This is the big finale for the saga that's been going on since the launch of Destiny.
Okay.
So this, it's kind of all hands on deck.
The Vex here are powering that barrier.
Because
take them out.
Because this has to be basically has to be the best expansion in Destiny history because there's a lot that's writing on it.
Okay.
Barriers down.
But yeah, I am, especially now that I have the option to, I am basically now planning on, once the Final Shape launches, I'm going to try and get a fire team together and just go full on into that at launch.
Okay.
Possibly even trying to do the legendary campaign so I can have a shot at getting a power boost so I can have, furthermore, a shot at, I might be punishing myself, but trying to go for contest mode for the new raid, which is going to have us go and fight the Witness.
Okay, who's the Witness?
Basically the ultimate big bad, the voice in the darkness.
Okay.
Although some people kind of feel a little bit that the Witness isn't as good of an antagonist. Like Savathun, for example, she's been there and has been built up for years. So when we got the Witch Queen, which was us finally getting to confront her, there was a lot of investment invested there. The Witness has been more of a boogeyman in the shadows that has said very little and done a little. And if I were to try and compare him, the Witness is more, at least in his execution, has been more of one of those force of nature type enemies.
Okay.
Because I mean, how do you feel about some of the content spoilers? Because
I don't mind, because honestly, Destiny's not really a game that's up my avenue.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
'Cause I sort of fell out of love with online multiplayer ones like that.
That's entirely fair. Not everyone's cup of tea. But okay. Okay, what's the best way for me to try and describe what the Witness is? He's basically a collective consciousness. And
Okay.
an entire civilization condensed into one being.
Okay, so a networked intelligence.
Something like that, only instead of a networked intelligence like like what you'd expect with the Vex and computers, it's entirely biological. Like.
Oh, okay. So it's like the Zerg then. It's the organic equivalent to the Borg.
Yeah, he's not a collective consciousness. He's a single entity.
Oh.
Basically, this race that originally had the Traveler with them, who, with the help of the Traveler, they basically built a utopia, but they weren't satisfied with their utopia, and they wanted more of a purpose. So they ended up finding and seeking out the darkness. And once they started to realize that the darkness, because I'm going to just pause here for a second, because I'm starting to get to the point where I'm starting to talk with my hands, though you can't see.
No worries. I do that fairly often too.
But basically, the big difference between the light and the dark is the light is more focused in the physical world, in creation, whereas the darkness is more centered in the realm of the mind and the metaphysical.
Okay.
And as they started to learn more about the light and the darkness, these people realized that the light was capable of great destruction. So they initially sought to use the darkness to rein in the traveler and put it under their absolute control.
The heart is just beyond here.
Okay.
But Traveler wasn't going to be
This
having
place
this.
is just one big machine.
So
Get me
Traveler
close
ran.
to the clusters.
But because when it comes down to it, you could argue would this people's mindset be considered nihilism? Because basically they're all one of the things they argue about is how basically the final shape that the image is trying to create is basically just absolute stillness, no chaos, nothing. It's effectively all void.
Utter tranquility.
Yeah, and basically think of kind of things that life can do as just chaos, unpredictable, and kind of ultimately destructive.
Come here, you penguin. Go and beat a cooler, buddy.
So, when the traveler fled, they performed a bit of a ritual using the darkness.
Okay.
Where they basically took all of their consciousness, every single entity, every man, woman, child, everyone in that entire civilization, just ripped their consciousness out of their body and coalesced it all into one single being.
Wait a tick. You know what this is an equivalent to? Something that we've dealt with?
No.
It's a brethren moon. The collective psyche of an entire civilization in one being. It's a brethren moon. Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Well!
It's all starting to make sense. Let's see if it worked.
That is
a realization, eh?
Oh! Fuck me!
But you get where I'm coming from. That's basically what a brethren moon is.
Yeah, and the final shape basically trying to reduce everything to nothing, to absolute calm, stillness, as they see it, perfect order, no chaos.
Yep, or in Dead Space's equivalent, it's a dead space.
Shit!
I just blew your mind with that, didn't I?
Well!
Sorry.
That is something I was not expecting!
Oh, that's glorious.
But
all we need is permission to enter as a gate lord.
But basically that's where we currently stand, is the witness has basically sliced his way inside of the traveler and is reorganizing things inside the traveler to try and create his final shape. So the entirety of what we've been doing in Lightfall has been trying to find a way to follow the traveler inside of the pale heart of the traveler.
Well,
okay.
There's nothing. Or everything.
So we can track him down and stop him before he becomes a final shape, because if he succeeds, there will be nothing left.
Fun. Oh, and although not a bad sailing story by the sounds of it.
Yeah. It was in Beyond Light that we started to actually find out and start to have the faintest bits of hints and at the witness being behind everything.
Gotcha.
And right now, we've got a bunch of Vex to deal with.
So, think you can kill a god?
Don't think I have a choice.
Wrap up stream. I'll see if I can get like a pick or a bit so you can see what the traveler looks like.
Okay.
He's certainly kind of creepy in his own way.
Nice.
Not just a big mean move, but.
Now time to play gotcha with these eggs. See what I actually gets out of them. So for nothing new.
Heart is bringing that statue to life.
Oh my, I have way too many Lambo.
The heart is dying. Keep fighting them.
One down.
Wow, with all these Lambo, I would have expected to at least find one artisan among them. I got like 2.5 pages of lambs. I don't know. At least I got one. At least I got 2 serious ones. That's pretty good. Serious is a plus 20 work speed bonus. Okay, work slave is actually better. It's 10% more. They just can't attack that well. Okay, we got some decent lambs. I'd love to look. Yeah. Oh yeah, you workaholic, that's just a decrease in sanity, I'm lost.
on Mars. The Shroud of Darkness is lifting, and light returns to the Traveler. The speaker is calling us home.
I think I might change out who I'm using for a wall for here. I got a bunch of knockoff llamas somewhere. There they are. Do I have... Ooh, you're a pretty one. Diet Lover, Dragon Killer, Sirius. That's a good combo. Any artisans? Nope. Okay, you're my best one then. Let's start blending.
For centuries, we feared the forces of darkness massing against us. We sought to hide and cower beneath a broken god. No more. These guardians show us what we are, what we have always been, and what we will be again. We are what remains of the light, and we will not be stamped out.
Okay, chickens.
It's a day for pretty speeches and
Any
medals.
really good chickens? Ooh,
But
we have an artisan.
Out there.
Ooh, but I already got an artisan mine foreman.
Take this.
Got a serious chicken.
So much more, Guardian. I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness. Every moment brings them closer.
Got some interesting chickens. 'Tis good.
All ends are beginnings. Our fight is far from over.
But time to make a chicken god. Well, I mean, I'm about to condense 32 other chickens in order to make this thing even more powerful. After already dumping in 4 and 16, so... Technically speaking, it's going to be 52 chickens instead of one chicken.
Oh, great, you're making the chicken witness.
Yes. I see nothing wrong with this. And I have the amount of chickens to pull this off. Oh, nope, not that chicken. That's an artisan one. Let's see. Now just to blend up first the ones that are just really bad.
And there we have it. The Stranger's Rifle. The what will eventually basically the pro form of what becomes the No Time to Explain.
Wait, is that seriously what it's called?
The exotic version of this pulse rifle? Yes, the No Time to Explain.
Wow. Dear God, that chicken has become mighty indeed. It's now at tier 3. Which means I think the next one is going to be like 64 chickens I need to shove into it. No chicken should be that powerful. But it also helps probably how plentiful the chickens are in this world. Same thing with the lambles. There's a ton of lambles. Okay, let's see. I got an artisan chipmunk. Anything better? Nope. Okay. It's you're tier 1, so you need 16 other chickmunks. I think I got the numbers. Here, let me just go and play with this chipmunk's genetic structure. Doing a bit of an Andrew Ryan on this thing.
Oh dear.
What? There's nothing wrong with manipulating the genes of the creatures around you. Well, that's the worst that'll happen.
I'm sure there's a bulleted list out there.
Oh, definitely. You know there is by this point in time. Okay, so that's all the monks without any gold things. So now to basically go through and see who's gonna get hacked. Ooh, a ferocious lift monk. That's nice. Ooh. We'll go with you. Go with you. 2 more. There we go. I'm focusing on upgrading the pals that I have working my base now, just to make sure that they actually do things better. Although that artisan one is going to be for good use over at my over at the work farm, basically. So I got a second base I'm slowly building up. That's basically going to be my production house, whereas the main base is going to be my big old farmland. I'm at least making sure they're fed good food.
Checking now. Goodbye.
Hey, Warlock.
Alright, let's pay the speaker one quick little visit.
Okie dokie. What other pal needs to be upgraded?
It will only grow stronger.
Okay, I picked up some more. Ooh, I picked up a lot more foxes. That's good.
Do not stop fighting.
Alright, and with that, we have now officially completed the Year 1 story for Destiny 1.
GG.
The launch story, at the very least.
Ah, gotcha. Ooh, that's an artisan one.
Next time we get started, we can start diving into the deep below and House of Wolves.
Nice.
So I think that is probably a pretty decent enough spot to wrap up the stream for tonight, because we made some damn good progress tonight.
Most indeedy.
Which also means I now have opened up for me the rest of the basic planets to go around and do stuff on for just for bounties and patrols.
Okay.
So, and with how things are going, I may just be naturally at level 40 by the time we get to the next stream, because level 35 now.
Ooh, very nice.
So, yeah. With that, we can wrap things up for tonight. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Orsk. It's always nice to have company for these streams.
Indeedy. I am always happy to drop by on these things, and like I said, I wasn't really doing anything on my own over here. Just working on the farm, basically. I don't think I have enough foxes for this. No, I don't. 6 short of being able to upgrade this fox again. Oh well.
Yeah. So, one step closer towards the goal of finally getting to experience Rise of Iron. But we still have a fair ways to go. We still have the year one DLCs, the Dark Below, and House of Wolves to get through. Then we've got the Taken King.
Mmm.
And once we get the Taken King done, then I can finally go and experience Rise of Iron. After that, well, we'll see how good I'm doing on gear by then, because in order to actually do the Wrath of the Machine or any of the raids, I'm going to need to make sure my light level is at a kind of at least a minimum level.
That's fair.
Because, can't even go in if you're not strong enough.
That is most fair.
Plus, I also will need to find a way to put together a fire team that I can go in and do the whole thing with.
Mm-hmm.
So, once I get closer to that, I can speak with my clan in D2 and see what kind of takers I have for this, because optimally, what I think I would like to do is to not just hit Wrath of the Machine, but all of the raids. Like have one time we go and hit Vault of Glass as in D1, the first raid ever, and then either, depending on how long it takes, potentially in the same stream, which again would call for some scheduling, because getting a raid team together for the necessary amount of time, see the original version of Vault of Glass, and then see the updated version in Destiny 2. See the cakewalk that is Crota's End in Destiny 1, and the massively uptuned glow-up that is in Destiny 2.
Okay.
See the King's Fall, and see its updated version in D2. And then eventually, I can have the big finale, finally getting to experience Wrath of the Machine, and basically the big finale to this D1 stream.
Nice.
Of course, that's going to depend on what kind of takers I get with the clan, because depending on how things go, may or may not need time to grind out the gear so I can actually get into said raids.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see how that goes, because we're still pretty early in this series. But for now, thank you to everyone who came by to watch. I hope you had a wonderful time. I most certainly did. And until next time, y'all take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.